So this was your first experience with The Conjuring.
It was really good.
Really, with James Wan.
And it was... I said it several times during this movie, and I was like, outside of The Shining, this might be one of the best shot horror movies I've ever seen.
Oh, and it's really well shot, but I also was like, I gotta catch you up on some horror films. And it's nothing bad saying about James Wan. It was, and I pointed
lingering takes.
Yes,
where the camera's like moving and you're catching field of view, like you're catching everything.
Well, it's what
in the house, like it's
actually
cool.
in my opinion, it's what when a horror film, in my opinion, is truly made well. When it's made well, it's only because of the director. It's very rare where you go, the script was just really good.
Yeah,
and the script in this was solid. But there's
some gripes and
there's some
there,
things where you can complain about, or you can go, that was a little ridiculous, But my point is, in the hands of a very standard money for hire director, this is nowhere near as good. This felt like there was a lot of planning into a lot of the shots, and like for instance, the scene where she's looking under her bed and then the camera follows her, and it's one long take, right?
Yeah.
A normal director would just show a quick shot of her under the bed, and then it just would have then quick shot to the door or whatever, and then it's nowhere near as scary. When it does that, and it's like you said, it's a lingering take, you get that feeling of you're in the room with this person, and there's a genuine fright in you. Like you're like, oh, like this is
the other one
that's scary.
The other one that stands out to me is when they first set up all the equipment at the house, and it's like a wide lens on the camera. And it starts at one end of the hallway, and then it slowly turns, and it like the door to the basement's like here, and then it goes back down the other way to the hallway, it's showing you, and you see little things happen as the camera's turning.
It's giving you, it's setting up basically the boundaries of where the next couple scenes are going to be set. It's letting you know, like, this is where everything's going to go down, and it gives you, it's just really well directed. And this was you have never seen Insidious, and I've told you I'd argue Insidious might be scarier maybe, but this is way more well made for sure. It's also it helps that it has really good actors and actresses in it.
Yeah.
I mean, the two main characters are Ed and Lorraine Warren, who is Patrick Wilson, who's a solid actor. He's in a lot of James Wan stuff. But Vera Farmiga is an excellent actress, and she's really good. And then you have the family, where you have Lily Taylor and Ron Livingston, who is a soft spot for me because of Office Space and Band of Brothers. But he's really good.
Yeah.
So when you have good filmmaker, a solid script, and good actors and actresses, it's not only a good horror film, it's a scary horror film.
Yeah. No, and there's some genuinely scary moments.
Like I remember we were rewatching. I've seen this 3-4 times.
And I don't do horror movies, so everything to me is going to be a little bit scary.
But even me, like, I'm really into horror, and nowadays it takes a pretty good movie to really get me kind of like creeped out or really scared. And I've seen this 3 or 4 times, and this time there are some parts where I'm like, don't care for that. Like I get that feeling like, God, man. That is just, it's genuinely scary.
Yeah.
And there's a reason this had like an 8, I think it had an 80-something on Rotten Tomatoes. Like it was an excellent horror film.
I mean, actually, I'm like thinking about it. I guess my biggest complaint's just the way it ended. Like it just ends strange.
It's not that it's strange. It was so much buildup. I'm actually going to agree with you. Not necessarily that I wanted like a non-happy ending. I did like that it ended this way, that she survived the exorcism and everything's okay.
But like the exorcism was weak.
The exorcism started out dope.
Yeah, no, but the way it ended was
it all of a sudden because remember, like she gets away, like, or the not the spirit, it's like the demonic presence name. Mm-hmm. Like he does all this stuff for the exorcism, and then for him to just all of a sudden go, I send you back to hell, and then it goes back to hell, and then it's happy,
and then she throws up, and it's all over.
And that what we just said took place in the span of like a minute.
Yeah.
and for you to have all this set, like that exorcism scene is dope, where her chair turns upside down and she's going in and out of being Lily Taylor, where she's legitimately like, help me, and then it's the demonic presence that's like, you're all gonna die, and like, I mean, it's so well done, and it's scary, and then it's just an abrupt ending, and then you're like, damn, I wish even if it was like 2 or 3 more minutes, like it would have played out so much better.
Another thing that I thought was weird too is like at one point they try to take the family out of the house after they've already
clarified that it's going to follow them. I agree.
That was weird. I thought the connection to Annabelle.
There's no. This movie has no. You would have to see the Annabelle movies to see like the connection. It's basically. That was a cash grab for me, where they were like, we're just going to set up this universe.
Yeah.
Like the Annabelle. Yes, there's that one scene where I think it's just another frightening. But to me, just try to add a frightening element where it showed Lorraine Warren, her family was getting messed with a little bit, and
and that was weird to me. Like that didn't make a whole lot of sense.
In what way?
I mean, it was kind of hinted at that it was because of the connection of the necklaces.
Oh, that. Well,
because it showed
you're
one
right. You're
swinging
right. That is,
and the other one swinging, but then it's like, why did it transfer necklace? Like there was a lot, not a lot, but that
particular storyline,
like that, it was not needed in the main storyline at all.
Again, I think the whole Annabelle bit was just because of a cash grab. Now, where you're talking about the story of like almost like these two demonic entities are almost correlated. You're right. It wasn't explained too much. But keep in mind, the demonic entity was all about wanting to kill children.
Yeah. Well, no, I get that aspect. I guess my complaint is that, first of all, how the demonic entity found her kid in somewhere else that wasn't her home or on her land.
We're speaking in tongues that we don't understand.
And then from there, that demonic entity got in that house and was like, I'm releasing Annabelle. And then...
Yeah, but then Annabelle went back into her crate, or glass container, or whatever.
Yeah, but like, why? Like, none of that... To me, that whole little bit, even though the shot from the bottom of the stairs down the hall, like... that was dope.
Well, see, and that's like, it is something where I think that was just they wanted to add something a little more frightening, like a change, almost like just to show that the Warren family was also, I guess, going through some shit.
Yeah.
But you're right in a sense where it was a little distracting.
Yeah.
And I think it was truly just to set up these Annabelle movies. But no, there were several moments in this movie where you're like, God, that was dope. Like and it just goes to James Wan knows how to make a horror film. I mean, he did Saw, he did both the Conjuring movies, he did Insidious 1 and 2, and he's currently making another horror film right now. Like he knows, and what's cool.
No.
He did direct the one and only Dom Toretto. And Furious 7. And he did Aquaman too.
Yeah.
And that's something it's why where on previews where it'll say from director James Wan, you don't see that a lot in previews, right? It'll just show a preview, but if it's an established director, it'll say from director so and so. I think he's earned that right because he's shown that he can definitely make a quality horror film. And
well, like after watching this, I'm kind of excited to see Insidious. Like,
because
this was really well.
And I'm not gonna put words in your mouth, but I think you would walk away from Insidious going, it's not. He was a little younger. It's not as good, but it's solid. Yeah. It's definitely a solid. Like I remember seeing that in theaters and thinking, this was good. This was solid. When you compare it to other, because there's horror films, in my opinion, there's like. It seems like there's 20% that are so good. And then the rest are basically...
I'd go with a smaller number than that.
Oh, I don't know, man. There's some pretty good... And I guess it's just the vast amount of movies that, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But, no. It seems to be they're either really good or they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
Because and much like you said... in this movie, there's not a whole lot of. There are some things you can gripe about, but there's not a ton.
No, there's not a ton.
And there's some horror films where I'll laugh at because I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, everything is. And even though these stories are not grounded in reality, people are not acting realistically. They're doing stupid, dumb shit.
Another complaint about this, and it wasn't really stupid, dumb stuff. There were times in this movie where the kids were in the room with another kid, and they're seeing something. I
thought that was only in the one scene.
It happens 2 or 3 times, and again, eventually the other kid gets woken up or something like that. But it's like, wake up the other person in the house.
If you're that terrified, though, like, you never know, like, fight or flight. You could either be like, wake the fuck up, or you could be silent. And that's kind of the scene I'm thinking of, which is where she hears something in the room, she looks under the bed, and then she sees something behind the door.
To me, that's the creepiest scene, because what's that girl's name?
Joey King.
Joey King. The look on her face, she's like,
Which
there's something.
It's genuine terror.
Yeah, there's something in the corner, and you don't see it.
Yeah. Oh, it's scary, man. When that's something else.
And she walks in the corner and she turns around like there's nothing there,
and then the door closes. Something else that I do love about this movie: there are no jump scares, and you don't see a demonic entity for the first half of the movie. Scary movies usually are pretty quick to try and get you scared.
Yeah.
And Conjuring sets up a story and a world to where, and they're just strange things that are happening.
Yeah.
Where you start feeling a part of this family, where you're kind of getting creeped out. And then when it happens, when you first see, that scene's creepy too, where Mackenzie Foy is always sleepwalking, and then she's hitting her head on the dresser. Mm-hmm. And then the oldest daughter's like, okay, you can sleep with me. And then the dresser starts making that noise again, and then Mackenzie Foy wakes up, and she's scared, and that's the first time you see
the witch.
No, it's not even a witch. I think it was supposed to be like someone who had died, like a girl who had died, and she's on top of that dresser. And it's that scene, like, I kind of have goosebumps now, because it's like the first time you see something, mm-hmm. and you're like, fuck. Like, you get scared. I really like The Conjuring, especially watching it again this time. It was just a reminder of, like, this was an excellent horror film.
What do you give it?
I would give it a B+, I think.
I mean, yeah, B-, B.
B. I love horror films, though.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna.
I mean, this is one of the better ones, but in terms of grand scheme of movies, like,
I don't know. See, I think I would disagree there, because I think because it is such a well-made horror film, you have to sit there and go think about other horror films. And
you can't grade it differently, but just because of the genre.
No. I still would give it. That's my point. I think as a movie, I would give it a B+. It's that solid of a movie. But I do. I love it.
I'll go B.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's good.
Yeah. Okay. That's enough. It's on Netflix.
It is on Netflix.
Watch it, and it's something that's pretty consistently on Netflix. If it's taken off, it usually comes back on. Check it out. The second one, I have a little bit more problems with. Still solid. If it's not on Netflix, but if you feel like you haven't seen this one and you watch it and you love it, you should watch the second one. It's following Ed and Lorraine Warren. But yeah, B+, B. Check it out. I love The Conjuring. I like James Wan, and y'all should definitely get into that. So, it's Halloween.
It's October.
We're trying to knock out horror films left and right. So just stay tuned, and we'll get you
some more.
So.
All right. Check you later.
See ya.